when I see things that remind me of when I was a kid, like the shows of Regis and Kathy Lee and things like that, old sounds of the original PlayStation and such, it does not bring back positive, like nostalgic feelings or memories. What it does is it causes severe feelings of fear, abandonment, and survival instincts. Because as a child, when I grew up with boomer narcissistic parents that have decades of substance abuse, I mean, they're very boomery people where they took part in all of the things that boomers are known for. You know, a lot of drug abuse, a lot of having sex and everything, being very strict and cruel to their kids to not really have any fun in any way. None of the things that they did, but also none of the things that were healthy in order to have fun. It's like they were jealous of their kids' fun because they would think about or remember when they were kids having fun, and those days are gone. And so they are envious of their kids. They don't want what's good or what's best for their kids. And with my parents, they were that to the extreme. You see, the reason these feelings come up for me is because the memories, the child that I have, it's not connected to good things. It's not connected to having friends. It's not connected to memories of school. It's not connected of memories of good things, going out vacations, good things with families. There are not memories like that with me. My memories are being severely harmed as a child by my mom, by my dad, and by my sister. They would all take turns causing extreme harm to me, hitting me, striking me with everything they fucking had. My sister would cause me to bleed when I was a child in the crib by pinching me and get right through her skin. I remember the look on her face too, and she'd smile, and she'd have this evil smile when she'd pinch me, and feeling her fingernails go under my skin, and I'd start screaming, crying. And my mom would rush in there. And even when we were older, my mom confirmed this, that she would see pinch marks all over me, bleeding, be like, "Ah, Nikki, did you pinch your brother?" No. She's like, "You need to stop that, Nikki. Someday he's gonna get grow up and be bigger than you, and he'll be able to bop you back." That's all she would say. That's it. And then as I got older, the mindset was, hey, this kid is getting older. She's hitting him. Just as parents, let's go ahead and take things out on him too. So everything I was surrounded with while being in that situation brings me back to that fight or flight situation of being trapped in that house. My parents lying to people about me, those people saying, I don't see Justin being like that at all, being extremely confused by the stories they heard about me. And as I got older, the stories I heard about me were absolutely ridiculous. And unfortunately, other people who don't know me, like other family members who only got to see me once or twice a year, because they heard so many stories about me, they start saying those things about me. They start spreading these lies about me. So now I have this whole family, most of that's never even got a chance to know me, saying these terrible things about me. And now, besides them seeing my behavior and believing what kind of person I am by witnessing what kind of person I am, the only thing I'm getting is all of these people being harmful towards me. And that's why today I don't have good memories of the past. My parents and other people said that when I grew up and had responsibilities, I would miss these days and blah, blah, blah. Now here I am as an adult during a time that's known as one of the worst times to ever live in the United States due to all the damage boomers have caused towards our generations. And I am so relieved I'm no longer a child in prisons going through that harm every day. You see, some people, such as boomers, are so blinded they can't understand that being a child doesn't automatically make your childhood great. Because to them, childhood was so wonderful, they can't imagine someone growing up as an adult and not looking back at their childhood thinking that was the best time ever, I had so much fun. They think it's just because you're a child. They don't understand it's because of the memories and the things that you did as a child. Boomers had amazing parents. The great generation, they were amazing parents. The only problem was with the great generation is that they made lives of boomers too easy to the point where boomers never got to learn empathy and they never got a chance to grow up and mature. They never got a chance to learn struggle in order to fight their way out and work hard in order to get all the wealth that they have. Instead, they got all their parents' wealth that their parents fought really hard to get and worked very hard to get, so those kids wouldn't have to struggle. And they viewed it instead of this is what a parent should do for a child. They view it as me, mine. I want more. So they grab from their parents, and they grab from their kids, and their grandkids, and their great grandkids in the form of aid that they're getting now from their social security and pensions that have crashed. The government has taken over that we're paying for discounts on their mortgages and all that stuff that we are paying for. All of this stuff is aid in order to take care of them that we are all paying for, and they're leaving nothing to any of the next generations because in their mind it's about me. I want more stuff. Notice how much boomers consume. Boomers with the crime rate is unlike anything we've ever seen before, but they had each other's backs and still do to this day, while they're passing laws to force us to give them our money to take care of them. This trauma is extremely bad for many of us. And with me, that is why it's so bad for me, is because I wasn't allowed to go to school. My parents found a book on science or went through my computer and would see that I was looking up technology and education and diamond cut and how to invest, beat the fucking shit out of me. Then took my computer and then took my computer chair and everything, saying that God blessed them with it because God made them my parents and they could take whatever they want from me because they're my parents, and that is a blessing from God. That is how I consume. That's how my parents, these type of boomers, think. So they're very awful, very disgusting people. And then my sister is a psychopath. She got that from my dad. They saw everything that she was doing. And instead of correcting her and smacking her across the face, saying, "You don't hurt do or treat your brother that way," they tell me, "Justin, obey your sister." Therefore, now they have a very empathic, caring, sweet child with an IQ of over 140 who thinks he's an absolute total idiot because he's told that every day and hit every day, and they're telling him that he is nothing, saying that he needs to obey his abusive sister, who is a psychopath, who in her mind, and she told me later that she loved it, that she loved that she could say anything to make my parents hit me, and that she could tell me to do something, and that they told me to obey her, and that she felt this feeling of absolute power. And if she was just upset one day because she was sewing or reading a book, she didn't like the way the book turned out, that she could cause injury to me to take out on me, and that this happened daily. So I was hit daily by my mom, I was hit daily by my sister, and I was hit multiple times a day by my dad to the point where I have brain damage in my frontal cortex from being hit by them so much. Fortunately, my intelligence, my logic, and my understanding on such things is completely untouched. But my frontal lobe, that has to do with motivation, being outgoing, and all that stuff, it is injured. It doesn't function properly because it's not on. It's actually dead from being hit. And I think I have a good time. They have a good timeline as far as what age I was, and it hit me immediately. I remember my dad hit me really hard and picked me up and threw me against the wall because I laughed at a joke on a Disney movie that in his mind he thought was a perverted joke. My dad is a pervert and a pedophile rapist. And with people like this, they're very strict with their children because they view their children as their playthings and they don't want any sexuality outside of their children's life besides them. So they view everything is perverted. Everything to them is perverted. Like why the chicken rock cross the road to get to the other side thing to them would be a joke about homosexuality and very perverse stuff and everything like that. And they'll be like, how do you know what that means? Your mind is obviously very dirty for you to laugh at that. For you to laugh at it, you have to know what it means. Because if you know what it means, then you're thinking of a lot of sexual stuff start hitting you. And that's my dad. And that's how I was raised. I remember the first time my dad called me a pervert. I think I was 5 years old because I laughed at something on a Bugs Bunny cartoon, and he started hitting me really, really hard. And I don't remember. I just remember it was like the way he looked at the camera went wah, wah, and my dad thought that it was a joke about some I can't remember, but I was not allowed to laugh around my father. So again, this is why today I'm a very serious person. I put years, literally decades I have decades of experience of going after people who abuse children, and I got a criminal record because of that. I came to Indiana, which a lot of the judges and people higher ups are in human trafficking out here. I got caught, got myself in a lot of trouble, but I will continue to go after these evil people. And that's wise because even though I'm an empath, my mind is more on laughing and loving and all that stuff. People, that's naturally who I am. Because that was beaten out of me, and because of my abuse, because of my trauma as a child, everyone has always told me, even when I was 19, that I'm like talking to their grandfather that's a politician because I talk about old people stuff. And it's because I never had a chance to enjoy. I learned that I wasn't allowed to laugh or smile or have fun. And this caused me to learn how to do what I do now. I'm a safety guy. I've got a lot of experience in this stuff. I mean, people are surprised when I fill out an application for a company and they're like, you just want to be a truck driver? You don't want to be in safety? You don't want to be a trainer of some sort or be a higher up? You don't like, no, I just want to be a truck driver. Why? Because driving a truck allows me the time to educate myself, listen to case law, know what's going on legally, safety wise, policy wise, regulation wise, cybersecurity threats from around the world, all this stuff in order for me to be able to call up congressmen, put together systems, work with people in order to try and make this world a better place because I don't want people to have gone through what I went through as a child. Whenever I hear a parent talk about their right for them to educate their child and teach their child what they want them to be taught and for that child to not be exposed to certain things, it always makes me I always become concerned because I'm thinking, okay, that could be anything. Either they don't want their child to be exposed to the very radical liberal bigotry in schools right now where they're like, oh, be trans, be this, be that. That's a very anti-education thing, or it could be the exact opposite, where they don't want their kids to learn about science, basic things like evolution, global warming, all these things we know for a fact to be true. Um, and it's just You just don't know anymore. Things are just so complicated now, and that's why I put so much effort into trying to make this world a better place for the rest of my life. And I can hardly wait for my life to end. I can hardly wait for my life to end. I just hate it so much. The memories and the pain of just everything my parents did to me, and how there's no way to reverse all that, what everything they did to me. There's no way to get good memories of being a child and having friends and doing things with friends. There's no way to do that. It is gone. That developmental stage, all that stuff is gone. That will be in my mind forever. And if I could make this world a better place for other people, as many people as I can, not just a few people, but if I continue to put as much effort as I can into making this world a better place and protect children specifically, then I know I will have done my job when I pass on. But yeah, it's a difficult life. When you've gone through what I've gone through, the rest of your life, you just think, I can hardly wait for this to be over. And it's not your fault. And it's not when your abuser says get over it and that it's your fault that you can't get over all the harm that they caused to you and what they did to your brain. It's even more damaging than I've had my parents say that to me. The things they did to me is not my fault, that I need to learn to get over it and deal with it properly and just move on with life, because that's how it was for that generation. The me generation that just had fun, had a lot of sex, and did a lot of drugs. Nothing's ever their fault because they don't want it to be.